Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now May 2nd of 2022, and a lot of things are happening at the same exact time between both Disney and Lucasfilm on crafting the future of the Star Wars universe. You know, we have things such as the Ahsoka Tano series, the Mandalorian Season 3 and 4, as well as the Kenobi series, and more to arrive this year and next year, and of course beyond, that's going to really fulfill the Star Wars franchise at heart. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, we've been having a lot of fun on Twitter. If you guys want to go ahead and follow me on there, you know, talking about the Kenobi series and everything related to that. There is a lot of things happening with the Kenobi TV show that's going to really take fans by surprise. We already know that Deborah Chow has a lot of cameos coming into fruition for the first season. There's going to be a lot of new revelations about Anakin Skywalker in the Kenobi series, and we're talking about, yes, Anakin, not Vader. New reveals for Anakin in the Kenobi series, which we'll talk about that a little bit later on, because there's a lot of stuff with the Kenobi series involving Anakin. When you go ahead and look at everything that's been happening between Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen and how they're so excited for their roles to return to the Star Wars fandom, I mean, it is quite a great time to be alive, because we already know that Deborah Chow is a very dedicated Star Wars fan. She actually really respects the fans. She knows exactly how the fans think and what they want to see on the big screen or, you know, on screen at home. That's what she's pretty much dedicated to, the actual fandom, the Star Wars community. And I think that's why this series is really going to really kind of expand beyond expectations. I really do believe that. And that brings us to this discussion about what Chapek recently did for the Kenobi series. Now, currently Disney is building numerous sets for the Ahsoka show, and filming has already begun for that series that is set to debut sometime in the spring of 2023. However, it's noted that currently Disney and Lucasfilm have big plans for the future of Star Wars, where it's noted that with the Kenobi series, they are already in the process of making this into a 3-season show, where the series will have big revelations and will even lend credit to the major retcons coming for the sequel trilogy movies that John and Dave are making sure happens. Now, it's described that for the Kenobi series, Disney and Lucasfilm are indeed implementing Kenobi's love interest that will turn to be a big revelation of Kenobi eventually having a daughter, which ends up being Rey's mother in the new Star Wars canon. This is described to be revealed by the 3rd season of the Kenobi show in the future, and that these plans are already concrete into the plans for the Kenobi show and its big reveals. So far, John and Dave are changing Rey's lineage by making her both a combination of the Kenobi and Palpatine bloodline. How Rey is involved in that Kenobi bloodline will be fully explained not just in the Kenobi series 3rd season, but also, of course, in other forms of canon, both in live action and in books as well. Now let me just stop right here for a second. We talked about this lightly a couple of weeks ago in late April, that the Kenobi series, of course, is going to have revelations of their own in the 1st season, but now that they are expanding those seasons, more revelations are coming our way. But the whole Rey Kenobi plan by Disney, this is going to be implemented also earlier on in books and comics and new live action material before the 3rd season of the Kenobi show drops in a couple years' time. Now, the thing about this is that this is, of course, a desperate attempt by Disney to essentially reinvent the character of Rey, and this is all being done by both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, by the way, with the help of Deborah Chow with the Kenobi series later on. Now, this is not to get mixed up with the 1st season of Kenobi. There's going to be no mention of, you know, Kenobi's love interest or anything around those lines. That's a big mystery for the 1st season. Now, the thing about this, of how this really changes the sequel trilogy, is that obviously they are gearing toward making this very much direct to all types of Star Wars fans, whether you're a casual fan, a new fan, or even a hardcore one at that. They want to make sure that this is going to be a widely known fact that Rey is going to be connected to that Kenobi bloodline, or, you know, Rey's going to be connected to that Kenobi bloodline that expands multiple generations. And I think that's a very interesting path that they are taking. Is it really necessary at this point? Maybe not. You know, at the same exact time, I am very excited to see this happen, and it is going to be quite a thrill to see exactly how Jon and Dave are going to reinvent, you know, Rey's lineage and Rey's backstory or history, if that. So, moving beyond all of that, the Rey Kenobi plan by Disney and Lucasfilm is, of course, meant to enhance the character and boost her acceptance among fans who have, of course, not enjoyed the character in the sequel trilogy movies. Now, it's described that the two big revelations that Disney is planning for the Kenobi series will involve whose Kenobi love interest will be in the show, as well as the revelation of course, Kenobi's daughter, that will eventually become canon in the series, eventually down the line, that will end up being Rey's mother, who is currently dubbed as Kira Kenobi, as she has a child with Palpatine's son, who is also dubbed currently as Maximus Palpatine. Now, the Kenobi series is described to be just as big as the Star Wars prequel trilogy movies, if not bigger, and that's why Disney wants to create a beginning, middle, and end for the show that will feature these big reveals that will change the many aspects of the sequel trilogy. Now, changing Rey's lineage is something that director Deborah Chow has already been in conversations with both Favreau and Filoni about, and she is said to be very excited about making this happen in the series. However, Kathleen Kennedy disagrees with Chapek's decision on expanding the Kenobi show into 3 seasons. Kennedy's belief is that this will devalue the character and will be considered pointless to do 3 seasons of a Kenobi show. Now, that, of course, is something that's highly debatable. Is this really necessary to make the Kenobi show into 3 seasons? I say this is a perfect opportunity to really expand the character of Kenobi being portrayed by Ewan McGregor. Some fans out there will say otherwise, that it's pointless to do 3 seasons, and I totally understand that. You know, some people are going to say, you know, what on earth are they going to tell if Darth Vader is not going to be the main interest for the next 2 seasons? Well, they are going to be implementing new villains in a sense. There's a lot to tell about the Kenobi show, and it's going to be quite a thrill to see exactly what Deborah Chow does. So, Disney actually plans on officially announcing the 3-season expansion by this fall to the Star Wars fandom, as this is the most anticipated series yet. Now, like I say, the reason why it's so anticipated is that Deborah Chow herself said this about 3 or 4 days ago, that she wants to make sure that the Kenobi series is going to feel like a direct sequel to Revenge of the Sith. It's going to have that feel, it's going to have that tone. It's going to have that movie-like feel when you're watching this series, and that's the exciting thing about May 27th, is that we are going to be getting 2 episodes dropping on Disney Plus on the very first day. And to my knowledge, I believe the series is 5 to 6 episodes long, so that's basically like a 5 to 6 hour movie that we are going to be able to watch. And with it being 1 hour each, roughly, that's a lot of story to tell for Kenobi and other characters out there. So, on top of all of this, guys, you know, I think that Deborah Chow has her head on straight by working with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni on these new revelations and everything to do with the Rey Kenobi bloodline and how that's going to become canon in other scenarios besides the Kenobi series. But overall, you know, let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them moans again.